What's good, everybody? This is Mr. Peters. Today, guys, I'm going to be showing you all what domain, range, and a function is. And I'm going to make this a very super easy video for you guys. So if you find it helpful, we're going to ask that you guys hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for future videos. So when we're talking about domain, range, and function, guys, we're going to start off with domain. So understand that domain is our x variable, and there's a few different names for it. So when we're talking about x, that's our independent variable, our input, and the domain, which is just basically all the inputs listed from least to greatest. Okay. And then when we talk about y in the range, like I said, that refers to the y variable. We also know it as the output and the dependent variable. So please understand that terminology. It makes this so much easier. And I'm going to explain to you guys what a function is. Okay. So when we look down on our screen today, guys, we have different types of mappings, diagrams to show a relation or function between the x and the y, the input and the output. And the biggest thing we have to know is that every x can only one output. If the x has more than one output, it is not a function. And I'm going to demonstrate this to you guys today with a few examples. So when we look at this first problem right here, first they gave us like a mapping diagram. We don't know which one is our x or y, so we have to determine that. And you guys should always know that that first set of numbers is our x and the second number is our y. And if we look, do each of those three values, 0, 4, and 10, only have one output, one y? And the answer is no. When we go down that to 10, we notice that there's two outputs. So we would say that this is not a function. All right. So that's an example of what a function is not. That is not a function. 10 has more than one output, like as I circled, which are 5 and 6. Now, we're going to look at a same diagram where it is a function, but they kind of try to throw some tricks in there. And this is what I mean. So we know this left-hand side is our x. We know this side is our y. And when we look at each of these input values, did you guys notice how there's only one output for each individual input? This is a function, guys. It does not matter if those arrows that we drew in orange are crisscrossing. As long as each x only has one y, it is a function. So we would say yes. Oh, let's go back. Yes, it is a function. Okay. All right. So now we got some ordered pair, guys, and I'm gonna tell you right now, this is a function. Okay. And even though you see -4 and +4, just understand those are two different values. One is negative, one is positive. So that's why this is a function. None of our x's repeat because they cannot repeat, and none of them have more than one output. But let's say the problem asks us to list the domain. So if we're listing the domain, guys, all we're doing is, right, and I highlighted it, all we're doing is listing those x values from least to greatest. And if the x value repeats, we still only list it one time. So when I look at this problem here, if I'm writing the domain, right, we're gonna put this in we're gonna put this in brackets. I'm sorry. So if I'm talking about the domain, which I just put D, we would list it like this: -4, 1, 2, and +4, and then we'll close it off in braces, right? Brackets. That's how you list your domain. Least to greatest, every number is only written down once, even if it shows up more than once, okay? And now we're gonna go back and we're gonna do the same thing for the range. And understand the range is the y values: 3, -8, 5, and 6. So if we're gonna list this range now, This is how we're going to do it. We have -8, 3, 5, and 6. And as we look at this, guys, none of our x's repeat. None of them have more than one y. So this is a function. All right. So now we're going to go down and we have a different type of diagram, right? Because these are all different type of mappings, diagrams to determine whether it is a function or not. But the rules still apply. So when I'm looking at this first one here, right? And let's just put a star so at the same on the same page, right? We see all our x's. And as I look at it real quick, guys, luckily for us, when they're in this type of mapping, guys, they're usually already in order. So I'm not going to list this in order, but what we're going to do is just determine whether it's a function. And the funny thing is, right, the y's repeat. Does that make it not a function? What do you guys think? And the answer is it doesn't affect it. This is a function because the x does not repeat and the x's, right? They don't have more than one output. So when we look at this problem here, yes, it is a function. All right, guys. But I think when we go over to our next diagram, guys, this may not be a function. And the reason why is because -4, when x is -4, we have two different outputs. And we said before that the x can't repeat and the x cannot have more than one output. And this diagram here broke both those rules. So we can't do anything with this. We're going to say that no, this is not a function. All right, not a function. And even if we were to list the domain and range, right, we could do that. If we list our domain, just remember we only list each number once. So the domain would be -4, 0, 5. Close our braces, and then we'll do the same thing for the range. So when we look at the range, our range will be 2, 3, 5, and 7. All right. So, guys, when we're talking about domain and range and whether it's a function or not, please remember these very important rules. The x cannot repeat, nor can the x have more than one output. All right. And also remember that domain is our x, our independent variable, the input, and y is our range output dependent variable. If you found this video helpful today, guys, we're gonna ask that you smash that like button for us and subscribe to our channel. And thank you guys so much for the support. This is Algebra 1 with Mr. Peters. Join us next time.